This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. We got a lot of movies playing all at one time, don't we? But I am once again trimulcasting on Bumble and Utizzle and Kick, K-I-C-K. So we'll see how that keeps going. But anyway, folks, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. What do I always do? I play videos, give people time to get in and get themselves a cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage, or whatever is your want. And then we're going to talk about the issues of the day. In other words, be like butter and get on a roll.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called him crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
So we got a lot of people speculating on what's going on with the Iran situation, and out of the blue, who comes up to the podium and brings up Epstein is Melania Trump. And we're going to talk about that. She wants the victims, the survivors, as she put it, to tell their story. So very interesting. A lot of different things going on. NATO is back on their heels collectively. And you got Keir, how do you say his name? It's spelled K-W, Keir Starmer, going over there to act like he's done something, and they haven't done squat. Anyway, let me see who's come to see me. Wayne's come here to see me. How you doing, Wayne? Give me a thumbs up. Todd's here. Colette's here. Mark's here. Chet's here. Ha ha ha. Colette. Elva. Nice to see you. Robin. Nice to see you. Cole's here. So, let's see. Chet and Cole. Mark, nice to see you. Miss Mendersu. We got the younger gang here. Thank you for going by. Buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it. Hi, Brett. Nice to see you. We got, I got to get my booms loaded up so I can thank people who went to buy me a coffee. Let's see. I'm glad you stopped in. Let's see, Tammy's here. Part of the younger gang. So, Sweet Dreams, nice to see you. Yeah, Cole's hitting the booms. Where's my booms? I want to have a boom go off on Keir Starmer there. But anyway, folks, where's that? Boom! But anyway, Mike and Bev and the younger gang has gone buy me a coffee to help support the channel, and I might as well do it now. Make sure I don't forget, as I am wont to do sometimes. I forget. I'm gonna put a link. Anybody that wants to help support the channel as we're burning through this month. We're already in the second week. And I got a link to buy me a coffee in the description. If anybody wants to stop by, even to check, when are there twice? Oh, no, it's on Kick too. Yeah, okay. Hi, Mountain. How you doing? Randy, nice to see you. Let's see. Anybody? Lori's here. All right. So we've got multiple things going on. We got stories inside the stories. And we've got more hints coming that I think there's going to be. Now, I could be wrong. I don't want to get people sitting on the edge of their chair. There's Miss Mendersu putting some booms in coffees. People sitting on the edge of chairs. I'm not a clickbaiter. You all should know that. Yeah, I know many of you do. I don't do that to get people excited. I don't pull it. Phil got a loose screw. They go around whispering to each other and telling people to get off the roads by midnight. How many of y'all remember me playing that video? But anyway, No, I think we've got things coming in. We've got pieces being lined up on the board. Talk about a new world order. Okay, we're not going to keep footing the bills anymore. We're not going to keep powdering rear ends. We're not going to continue to have the big club running our show and running our lives. We've already been told by Donald J. Trump that if we put a stop to the fraud that's going on right now, we would wipe out our deficit. What does that mean? What does that mean after the deficit's wiped out? Money for us. Okay? That doesn't include, that's just the domestic fraud. How about the trillions we've shoveled overseas and into NATO and to the UN? That's going to get pruned back big time. What about the premium we pay for energy to keep a conglomerate in profits and people overseas sticking their digits in our pockets? We're talking a staggering sum of money that is going to start being returned to us. So it's been in place for a long time. Like Mr. T said, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Yeah, that's right, Devin. We protect them with the military, and you know, they sit there and can't defend themselves, but they maintain control. You know, a lot of people don't realize it, but that Hormuz Strait, we can't have Iran charging tolls. It's supposed to be freedom of the sea. No, who really runs it is the principalities out of Europe via Lloyd's of London running the insurance. Every insurance company in the world pegs right along with Lloyd's of London. They're in control of the Bar Association, our laws, our commerce. You can't conduct business without insurance. Banking, central banks, on and on it goes. You start seeing how they can sit there with their nose up in the air and just keep collecting money from every source you can think of. Trump mentioned Greenland again. He's been mentioning it all through this situation with Iran and his discussions concerning NATO. They just want to keep North Sea routes under their thumb. They like I said, control over the Strait of Hormuz via controlling commerce through Lloyd's of London, and also claiming to, because they claim to have sunk a flag there 300 years ago, that they have total control over a big chunk of ice, which is also another trade route. Well, we're putting a stop to all that, okay? Because you're not going to sit around and act elite and noble and royal, and then when there's a problem, you crook your finger and we come running. We've been doing that for over 100 years. World War I, that was how many years? 110 years ago? We've been doing it ever since. Our young men's, mostly young men, their lives, our treasure, to go pull you all out of your messes, or messes you want to create to gain even more control. So, Trump's a student history. He knows it. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. And it's coming to a stop. Isn't that right, Benjamin? Ha, ha, ha. Tammy's here. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Hi, Sparky. Nice to see you. Did I miss anybody? So, you know, Trump playing the downplaying Epstein. He knows he's baiting. He's baiting the media to keep hounding. He's baiting all of the clickbaiters and Trump haters to just, that's all you see in comments on any subject. Epstein files. We want Epstein files. We want Epstein files. Now that's been tamped down because of no, Trump's a war criminal now. On top of the Epstein files, he's a war criminal. Oh, he's demented. We need to do the 25th Amendment. Oh, now you're not talking about the Epstein files? Well, guess what? Nobody expected it. Out of the blue, Melania comes out talking about the Epstein files. She wants Congress to put on the record the concerns of the survivors. And this isn't the whole speech, but it's a part of it that mentions it. She doesn't have to do this. She wasn't under any pressure to do it. But she's putting them on notice too. The ones who have been making insinuations about her. It's all on record. She's got her attorneys looking at it. People that did videos throwing rocks at her aren't going to be sleeping good. They better check their bank balance to make sure they got enough for a retainer for these lawyers who always seem to come out on top in this kind of situation. But anyway, here's Melania right here.
My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the Congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
Boom! Permanently entered into the Congressional record. Boom! Kapow! Boy, aren't there people trying to keep from evacuating their bowels after hearing that. Are they going to name names? Is this going to be making the Super Bowl look like a puppy show? I don't know. I remember how people tuned in to hear Oliver North when they were trying to headhunt Ronald Reagan over the Iran-Contra affair. Front page, Oliver North holding up his right hand in his Marine uniform. Every newspaper in the country had it on there. I remember that. You all remember that? All the hearings about Clarence Thomas, the way they drug Kavanaugh through the mud, or tried to. Now, we'll see who's going to be on the hot seat for congressional hearings. Oh, how they took pictures of Maria Abramovich, was that her name? That was throwing stones at Trump during their congressional hearings. Wow, this is really going to be something, I think. How are they going to say no? Now, let's see if the left keeps demanding Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files. How about you hear directly from the victims? How's that for files? You know, and the other thing, I remember I had a video of George Conway crying. And it got corrupted with all my other videos. You all know about it. But anyway, I got another video of him crying. Who's George Conway? He is one of the characters that set up this business for Trump to be sued. And where the judge played along with it, where they could all say Trump has been adjudicated a hard R word and an apist. Okay? Well, here he is. He's crying. You know, I don't know how well you all be able to understand him, but what did he do? What did he do? He had $1 million. He could have left to his children, but he donated it all to the Biden campaign. But anyway, here he is talking about it. And, you know, remember I said so many of them, like Kirshner and that attorney named Kirshner and the other one named Tyler Cohen or whatever his name, how they all started looking like they hadn't slept and hadn't shaved and looking like they'd been on a long drunk. They were worried about Trump. Well, this is what it does to your brain. It warps your brain.
I was asked by a friend of mine who raises money for Democrats to speak at a big Democratic fundraiser for what was then the Biden Victory Fund. And I remember I was actually driving out to my friend John Gardner's house out in Maryland. And I was thinking about, well, how much money should I give to the Biden campaign for this thing where I'm going to be the headline spokesperson and asking other people to give, you know, and I thought I'd give, a lot of money, but a reasonable amount of money. And then I started thinking about it and it's like, I mean, this is supposed to, it's money that my kids would otherwise inherit. And I started thinking about that. So what am I going to give? And then I just thought about it. Well, what do I want my kids to inherit? And I literally was in tears. I pulled over to the side of the road and I was in tears thinking about this. And it's like, I want my kids, it makes me misty-eyed even today. I want my kids to inherit a democracy. It's more important than money. And that decided, well, fuck that. I'm gonna give the legal maximum, which was like $929,600. And, it's just more important. It's just more important. And that's why I did that. And that's why, I'm 62 years old. I should be out in Park City skiing or something like that. And I should be really, really retired. But I could never live myself if I didn't do everything I could to help get rid of this. You know what?
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure that's one reason you decided to run for Congress.
It's the reason, actually, the reason.
Thanks for making me cry too, George, by the way.
Sorry.
No,
No, there's something in my eyes. Just something in my eyes.
No,
Something
yeah,
onions here.
mine
too.
Oh, don't cry for me, Argentina. He gave away his kid's inheritance for a losing game. Now, what is Conway's deal for democracy, he says? Oh, yeah, he was Kellyanne Conway's husband. I call him the Hobbit. And he got together with that creep from LinkedIn. What's his name? You all know it. Hi, Bush. How you doing? And they lobbied to change the law to where this hideous woman could go after Trump. And they could say, after it was all said and done, over and over again, that Trump was actually a rapist, right? So, good, George Conway. Cry. Your money's gone, okay? And the money's getting cut off right and left, and it's going to keep getting cut off, okay? You be kicking rocks in the streets, you bum. And this was before Melania came out talking about victims, okay? Let's see what you got. There's something going on with you, Conway, you weirdo. Something going on with you. And we're going to find out. Everybody's going to find out. Hi, Debbie. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, wow. Debbie said, wow. So, yeah, I love seeing them cry. Where did I have? I had a thumbnail from those creeps. They ended up doing they're doing a show together now. Kirshner and that Cohen guy. I guess they need to give each other emotional support or something. I don't know. Wait a minute. Do I have that thumbnail? That's the name of their YouTube. Is both their names. Glenn Kirshner and Brian Taylor Cohen. I guess it's not enough crap to talk about separately. They got to do it together. I'll come across it. I'll put it up. But anyway, here's some stuff that I had stuff from last night. Trump posted this picture or the White House posted this. What does this tell you? There's Mr. T. He's got a big smile on his face. What's he looking at? What's he smiling about? You know, the media never gives us the news. They just give us a headline. Federal judge stops the demolishing of the East Wing. And everybody, oh, yeah, good. We got a federal judge that's stopping this egotistical maniac and all that kind of crap. Then you don't hear nothing about it. Well, it looks to me like that judge got told to stuff it by a higher court. And they're continuing construction. That's what I'm seeing with this picture. Are they reporting it? No, they're not reporting it. Because they don't give a damn. They're one way. One way creepos. Speaking of creepos, since I got him on my thumbnail, you look at that picture. You can't get farther apart. And talk about having more nerve than a bum tooth. Starmer going over there and acting like he's some important person. Anyway, here he is taking credit. That's what I'm getting out of this very short clip. Taking credit for the ceasefire. How embarrassing. I mean, but you can't embarrass these people. Somewhere in his brain, he actually thinks he's important to us. And he's really not. How much was the UK involved in trying to unseat Donald Trump? Trying to create fake information that could get him impeached or cause him to lose the election? How much was your government involved in that, which would be a act of war, by the way.
What is the purpose of your visit here in the Gulf? What kind of influence do you think you can have?
Well, we've just reached this ceasefire, which is both welcome, and I think there'll be a sense of real relief. There certainly is across the region and for the United Kingdom. But there's work to do, and I'm here in Saudi Arabia.
That's why I'm here in Saudi Arabia. We've got so much work to do. Yeah, well, the ship you sent, I put a picture of it, the Dragon or whatever you all called it. It's either broken down or they took it out. And there's another post they put up about withdrawing their forces to protect your troops. Didn't want to put them in harm's way. Here it is, right here. Western Press. Evacuation of British Army personnel and cancellation of future military operations in Iraq due to a, quote, threat to the lives of British forces. And that bathtub you brought over to so-called help has been docked far away from any kind of engagement. Trump's called you all out on it. Here. NATO wasn't there when we needed them, and they won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly run piece of ice. President Donald J. Trump. Remember the one broadcast? I ended it up by saying, listen to what Trump says. It was a very short clip. He said this is all about Greenland because they don't want to work with us on Greenland. And, hey, he's going to keep coming back to it. They think he's going to be distracted by Iran or forget it. No, it's all tied together. It's all tied together. Speaking of all tied together, I was thinking about getting this video and recording it and playing it. It popped up in my feed, and I'm going to keep this thumbnail so I can recall it back. President Obama's full remarks on the Iran nuclear deal. There's Joe Biden behind him. Get a little of that purple tie. But anyway, yeah, I think I might do that. I think I might do that, and then we'll critique it. Because how many times has his involvement been brought up? A lot. A lot. Anyway, here, what do we have here? Now comes the fear-mongering. Climate change. They're putting up posts about climate change. Something called cicada, or however you say it. Let me know if you all heard this yet. They're calling it cicada, co, and then vid. Okay? Because I don't know if I could say the word co and then vid. You know what that is, right? Well, they're saying there's a strain called the cicada. What does that mean? It means that, it's like a cicadas. They get hibernate, and then after so many years, comes out of the ground. So in other words, they're saying, trying to scare us with that. On top of these, first predictions for a hurricane season are in, and El Nino's fingerprints are all over it. Climate change, fear-mongering, and illness fear-mongering. You all are my witness. Before I read this from Trump, I showed you all the CNN business where Trump said they falsely reported on CNN. I also said, look what the New York Times is putting up. And I showed you 3 different posts from that guy from the New York Times. Nobody was mentioning the New York Times. But I said they were also participating in sabotaging the ceasefire deal and smearing Trump. Well, the next day, here you have the failing New York Times and fake news CNN each reported a totally fake 10-point plan on the Iran negotiations, which were meant to discredit the people involved in the peace process. All 10 points were a made-up hoax. Evil losers. Make America great again. Well, we knew New York Times was involved. We read it right here. Anyway, here's Donald Trump again. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and everything else that is appropriate and necessary for lethal, another word I used. Remember when we had that person come in the chats and argue with me? I said Trump is prosecuting a war. Pete Hegseth was prosecuting a war. That's the terminology that's used. What do we see here? Necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then shooting starts, bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons, and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up, resting, and looking forward to its next conquest. America is back. And another thing I found interesting, I said during that same back and forth that we were talking about the Persian civilization, that he was saving a civilization by going after Iran. Did I not say that? And the very next day is when Trump put out his infamous post that a civilization will be destroyed tonight if they don't do what they're supposed to do. So again, another term that seldom or never used because we're on the same page. You know, the civilization Trump was talking about destroying. You know which civilization he's talking about, folks? Which civilization is he talking about being destroyed? I said the night before he put up that post that he was saving the Persian civilization. He's talking about a civilization that began 1,400 years ago, 1,400 years ago. And it's called Mohammedism, okay? When a Bedouin warlord started gathering young men to maraud, raid, and conquer, he cobbled together a so-called faith. And the precepts of that faith are exactly what you would put out to young men that you want to go out and risk their lives for you. You make it lawful to steal, lawful to pillage, lawful to and then ape, right? Lawful to have slaves. When you die, you're going to get 70-some virgins. All tailored to have a mob of young men be on your side so you could go out and conquer your neighbors. Okay? A religion, so-called religion, a philosophy of conquest. So that's the civilization he was talking about. And going to be destroyed. Yeah, Iran's Persia. Yeah, Devin. And what has infiltrated the Persian civilization is this criminal philosophy which is no different than socialism, communism, Marxism, fascism. They all play by the same rules. They demand subservience to the sovereign. Demand subservience to the sovereign, which happens to be, by the way, the pre-Magna Carta principalities played by the same rules. Pre-Magna Carta. So anyway, that's getting a little too deep. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. The principalities in Europe have no problem going hand in glove with this jihadist Mohammedans, because they all want the same thing: subservience to a sovereign. So anyway, so Epstein has reared his ugly head. Who else has reared their ugly head? Hunter Biden. There's stuff going on. There's leakers being exposed. There's congressional hearings about leaks and FBI maneuvering to sabotage Trump and hide the Hunter Biden laptop. All that stuff's coming out in the public. So stick a pig and watch them squeal, right? Those who scream the loudest. That's a nice way of saying stick a pig and watch him squeal. So Hunter Biden's squealing. You know, he can't just lay low. Look at him. He kind of looks like more like his uncle in this picture, but he's lost a lot of weight. But I think in this, he's calling out Eric Trump and Donald Jr. He wants to do an MMA fight. I guess they're having a good time. Well, Donald Jr. with his broadcasts covering this uncovering of the auto pen crowd and the deep state being exposed. And so, no, he's got to come out and, boy, I tell you what. Well, never mind. Not to say that it wouldn't be fun to watch him out there. It'd be like watching, well, I won't say bum fights, because Donald or Eric would probably mop the floor with him. But Hunter, I think, would look like he was part of bum fights, if you ever saw that before. But anyway, here we go.
Hey guys, Hunter Biden here. I just got a call from Andrew Callahan. He asked me to come out on the Channel 5 Carnival tour at the end of the month. I think we start in Phoenix and then we go to San Diego and we end in Albuquerque. And I think he's trying to organize a cage match, me versus Eric and Don Jr. I told him I'd do it, 100% in, if he can pull it off. And if he can't, I'm still coming. And I think he's got a lot of other surprises up his sleeve, a lot of fun. And I hope I can see you guys out there. You can get tickets online right now, and I'll see you out on tour.
No, that's not the one where he challenged him, but what's he got going on here? A Channel Carnival. Special what? Performance and musical guests. Who would go to Hunter Biden? Didn't he look bad? Didn't he look like he lost a lot of weight? Yeah, Miss Menders's his Finger Lakes tattoo. Ha ha ha. So where's he living at? You say he's living abroad. Where's he living at? What the hell is he doing? What is this? Channel 5 Carnival, a talent show. Who the hell would go on that? But anyway, yeah, it's the word on the street he's trying to challenge them to a boxing match. But anyway, This is the second time in a week Trump posted this picture. Right here. Same exact picture. He posted it about 2 days ago, maybe 3. He posted the same picture and he posted it again today. Do y'all know who that is? Well, this time he put a post with the picture. It is Viktor Orban, president of Hungary. Didn't I say, keep an eye out for that? I don't want to be an alarmist or get people, I cut off the top part, but it says Viktor Orban is a strong and powerful leader with a proven track record of delivering phenomenal results. He fights tirelessly for and loves his great country and people, just like I do for the United States of America. Viktor works hard to protect Hungary, grow the economy, create jobs, promote trade, stop illegal immigration, and ensure law and order. Relations between Hungary and the United States have reached new heights of cooperation and spectacular achievement under my administration, thanks largely to Prime Minister Orban. I look forward to continuing working closely with him so that both of our countries can further advance this tremendous path to success and cooperation. I was proud to endorse Viktor for re-election in 2022 and am honored to do so again. Holy cow, folks. How many days away is it? It's April 12th. And I said, wouldn't it be something if some people got busted for doing election fraud? And, in my heart of hearts, my little corner of my mind that lives in fantasy, that it gets tied back to the same people who put us through what they put us through. So election day is April 12th, 2026. Hungary, get out and vote for Viktor Orban. He is a true friend, fighter, and winner, and has my complete and total endorsement for re-election as Prime Minister of Hungary. Viktor Orban will never let the great people of Hungary down. I am with him all the way, President Donald J. Trump. And who is in Hungary right now? Or, well, maybe, I don't know how long he's going to stay there, but he was there yesterday. Y'all know who's there, right? And who said they've never seen the level of underhandedness and cheating and election manipulation like he's seeing what's going on right now with Orban, and it's J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance. So we're going to keep an eye on that election. Oh, let's see. Let us see. I'm going through so many different little dopey things that have happened today, in the last couple of days, actually. So, Marco Rubio met with Rutte with NATO. And Rutte came out and said, basically, that Trump is well within his rights to be angry or unhappy, I'll say, unhappy with NATO. Trump weighs punishing certain NATO countries over lack of Iran war support. U.S. troops could be shifted towards alliance members in the president's good graces. Yeah. How many people have we had overseas? Let me see if this is part of the article. No, this is, I'll get to it. This is Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth is set to face impeachment over his warfare methods in Iran, according to Axios. This is the woman I was talking about that's a representative in the House of Representatives, Yasmin Ansari. And I was saying, how the hell do we have these people end up running our lives in the federal government as members of Congress? Who is this person? But anyway, Democrat Party Representative Yasmin Ansari accused the Pentagon chief of committing war crimes and endangering the lives and health of American military personnel. She plans to initiate impeachment process next week. I got to do a little research on that woman. She could be a candidate for being stripped of her citizenship and being shipped the hell out of here, just like what's her face from Somalia. Let me see if this is the article on. This is supposedly from the cardboard mullah. The cardboard mullah nobody has seen any proof of life from. The Ruskies are posting this. Let's see if CNN and the New York Times put this garbage up. Tehran will demand reparations from the U.S. and Israel for the damage caused to the country, said Iran's Supreme Leader Cardboard Mojtaba Khamenei. This was stated in a message timed to the 40th day since the death of the previous Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, published by the Fars news agency. So there's a rift in Iran. I've seen articles like nobody knows who's running Iran. We got different news agencies putting out different stuff. Everyone should know we will not leave the criminal aggressors who attacked our country alone. We will definitely demand reparations for every damage caused and the price of blood of the martyrs and wounded in this war, said the Ayatollah. And yeah, some people saying he's corked off. Some people saying he's in a coma. So anyway, his other statements. Iran did not and does not seek war. Yeah, right. But will not give up its legitimate rights under any circumstances. Tehran will enter a new stage of managing the Strait of Hormuz. I said last night, there is a legitimate management need for a high traffic area like that does international shipping. And, they have to work something out. It's been a laissez-faire tribal under the table agreements and garbage for 100 years. They have to have something that's modern and fair, a commission, a port authority, or some kind of multinational group running that Strait of Hormuz. Instead of who's got the biggest bomb at the certain time of the day or however they've been doing it. Tehran will enter a new stage of managing the Strait of Hormuz. Mojtaba Khamenei called on southern neighbors to take a correct position. So it's kind of a mealy-mouthed statement. Who knows what'll come of it. They're talking tough. But the bottom line is Trump's got the stick, and he's put out some statements right here. This was tonight. He put this out. Iran is doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, of allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have. President Donald J. Trump. Who knows what kind of warning he's going to give him. During his press conference, he made a point of saying, and I forgot to bring it up, that he said certain people have been given amnesty and are working with the Trump administration. Certain people have been given amnesty. That means that certain people are going to get blown out of the water. Here, just prior to the statement I just read, Trump put this out. There are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the Strait of Hormuz. They better not be, and if they are, they better stop now, President Donald J. Trump. You think China's paying anything? There's oil going through there. I don't know what it is now, but it went down from like 115 of a high, 114, down to like 94. And all this was going on under Biden's administration. Nobody said a damn word. Now they're acting like the world's coming to an end. Straight at Trump, right, Miss Sue? Trump said that too. A reporter asked him about tolls. He said, what do you mean, us charging toll? That's okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. No, he said, I'm talking about Iran. He said, I don't know about that. Anyway, here's that Ruta talking about NATO. He's on CNN. Now, this is a guy that said, referred to Trump as daddy. You know, Trump gets along with him. And he is supporting Trump's sense of exasperation dealing with NATO. So I don't have anything against this Root guy. I think he's given them a dose of reality. But here he is on CNN.
Nuclear, and then you cannot negotiate any longer, and they have that power.
Is the world safer today than it was before the war was started?
Absolutely, because, and this is thanks to President Trump's leadership, degrading these capabilities is really very important for your and my safety here in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East.
Are you worried at all?
Why don't you put that on the banner, CNN, that this man says the world is safer because of what Donald Trump did this past month? The world is safer. They'll never put it on. So Clandestine did come up with a little something. The entire anti-Trump propaganda machine spent all yesterday frantically circulating a fake 10-point plan that they alleged Trump had agreed to, which of course turned out to be false Iranian propaganda. Then today, they all just act like none of that happened. Wild. Yeah, you don't hear nothing about it. Fake news that damages our country and puts people at risk. Well, speaking of fake news, and I could put this in my title somehow, I was going to have a picture of all of the poo-poo stirrers. Trump calling all the poo-poo stirrers up. This is a lengthy post. And he's addressing Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones. I saw a bit of an interview. Alex Jones's son is doing podcasts. And he is accusing Trump of being a war criminal because of the school that was struck. And we don't know the whole story on it. But he's out and out proclaiming Trump and Pete Hegseth as war criminals and advocating for their removal. So, very, very bizarre. But anyway, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They are stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free, cheap publicity. Wouldn't it be nice if he said they stuck an egg beater in their ear hole and cranked the handle? But anyway, now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts. But nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man, which she is not. Oh, okay. And will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. Oh, gosh. In fact, oh my gosh. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attacks on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called, quote, pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They are not MAGA. They're losers just trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on the world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Trader Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and is not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do. Because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, Candace. Oh, that was just a niggler. Just to get that thought in her mind that Macron's wife is better looking than you. That's like saying Milton Berle's better looking than when he's dressed up like a woman, better than Megyn Kelly. But anyway, here we go again, Donald Trump. The Wall Street Journal, one of the worst and most inaccurate editorial boards in the world, stated that I declared premature victory in Iran. Actually, it is a victory, and there's nothing premature about it. Because of me, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And very quickly, you'll see oil start flowing, with or without the help of Iran. And to me, it makes no difference either way. That's the position I was saying he was going to take. Turn that place into a lake. Just close off the Strait of Hormuz. We can make up that difference in the oil. But anyway, the Wall Street Journal will, as usual, live to eat their words. They're always quick to criticize, but never admit when they're wrong, which is most of the time President Donald J. Trump. Remember, Trump can take Carg Island or simply destroy it. And competition in oil has been stifled there's been a monopoly through smothering other sources of oil, and that's all going to get opened up. And who wants to go buy something? It's a commodity. Oh, let's go to the country that wants to blow up the world with nuclear weapons and wants to bend our thumb back and make us pay a toll to get their oil. Well, if you can get it somewhere else, that's what you'll do. And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be competition. And they have to be nice to their customers, not a bunch of sword swinging whack jobs. And yeah, we'll see a different attitude come from it. It'll take time, but anyway, here's an interesting video that the Russian military put out. And, you know, there's reports that Russian submarines are being tracked off the coast of the UK and Britain, and people are starting to gear up. The Russia is helping Iran to do the So anyway, what's the purpose in letting this showing off this technology? This is a robotic system for taking down drones. And, drones have been a problem for us. In Iraq, that are based in Erbil, they've been a problem for us. But it's not a problem for this robotic drone or drone hunting piece of equipment here. Wait a minute. There we go. What they're using there for target practice is something very similar to the Shahed drones. And they're, they make it look effortless, right? Those Shahed drones use a 2-cycle engine, same technology you have in your weed eater. But they have connected the equivalent of 4 weed eater motors in series and increase the bore without getting too technical. Anyway, these things generate about 50 to somewhere between 50 and 60 horsepower, and they go 110 miles an hour. They're one way. It doesn't matter if the engine gets burned up as long as it gets to its destination, because it's going to get blown up anyway. But that's what they are, weed eater engines. And if you got a way to counter it, like they just showed you, that's a big deal. And how long is it going to be before our troops are going to have those things? Just like carrying a canteen, So I think it was wasn't to brag. It was just a message to Ukraine and to Iran that these drones can be taken care of. But anyway, here's Donald Trump again. None of these people talking about Iran and including our own very disappointing NATO, understood anything less unless they have pressure placed upon them. So, they understand a smack upside the head. That's what they understand. If they don't walk the chalk. That's basically what he's saying. Not just Iran, but NATO too. Oh, here's what CNN put out. I meant to put this up after Trump's statement I read. Marjorie Taylor Greene, CNN, after they should be humiliated over their false reporting. No, they put up Marjorie Taylor Greene. What is wrong with this woman? MGT calls for Trump's removal from office. He's out of control. Look at this. That's the new mantra now. 270,000 views in 2 hours. That Trump's out of control. We need to invoke the 25th Amendment. But at the same time, have you all heard about this? CNN put up, Sky News put this up. CNN's premature Michael J. Fox reporting, they put up a story remembering the life of actor Michael J. Fox. Apparently, somebody said Michael J. Fox had passed away. And they got humiliated and had to take the story down because Michael J. Fox, it turns out, their spokesman responded, is doing great. He was at Paley Fest yesterday. He was on stage giving interviews. So, okay, 2 days in a row, we have these idiots putting out news that is false. Dan Scavino put this up. You know, I put up a video concerning a podcaster that I was very upset with about 2 years ago. I'll have to go by and find a clip of that. A phony MAGA person, an opportunist, just a bum. And before I get into it, I'll look back and see if I can get some clips from my own video about that to prove what I'm talking about. But there's a lot. Be careful who you follow. We all know that. There's a lot of two-faced bums that are just clickbaiters. Dan Scavino calls it out right here. There are many dedicated people in government who could leave tomorrow and earn tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a month as so-called influencers on social media. But they chose to serve the American people instead. All while the so-called influencers talk shite all day long and get paid big money for clicks and impressions. We see you. And, the one I'm talking about, I won't get into it right now, but they're getting a comeuppance right now as I speak. He is getting a comeuppance. He's a bum. And I think he caused me problems on my channel. Going to be interesting to watch the fate of that individual. But anyway, here we go. Trump is ultimately demanding from Europe. They spell it ultimatively. Like I say, it's a foreign site. Specific commitments to send a fleet to the Strait of Hormuz within the next few days, writes Der Spiegel. According to the publication, Trump also intends to withdraw U.S. troops from countries that did not support his war against Iran. So, yeah, they're trying to frame it as Trump's war, but hey, how big of a blow do you think it's going to be if Trump pulls bases out from Germany or from wherever we have it, and we're spending billions and billions of dollars a year? We just bring our people home and worry about our own hemisphere. So they better get their armada together, right? So we got people heading over to negotiate. Major players in upcoming U.S.-Iran negotiations. So I guess JD is going to be staying in Hungary or very close to it till at least through the weekend. But anyway, here's who's going. They're going to meet Saturday, I believe. Tomorrow.
Pakistan, in-person peace talks, and this is what the table is going to look like for what could be J.D. Vance's biggest assignment yet as vice president. He will be there. Steve Witkoff, the special envoy, will be there. Jared Kushner, another special envoy, will be there on the U.S. side. On the Iran side, you've got the parliament speaker who has been talking to President Trump, Mohammed Bagher Ghalibaf, and then Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister. Officials here are not negotiating in public about which points have to stay, which points have to go to end this military campaign in the Middle East, but it is very notable. Both here at the White House and at the Pentagon, officials are starting to refer to epic fury in the past tense, something that happened, something that was very effective.
Yeah, they're going to Pakistan. That's where the negotiations have been going on. Pakistan has been leading the negotiations. Oh, okay. I'm just looking what's going on in the chats. Yeah, California, you pay double in gas. And like I said, under Biden, it was just a matter of course. It was, and he was depleting the petroleum reserves to keep the price down, and it was still as high as it is now, and nobody said anything. Trump is not depleting anything. It's artificially high. It doesn't have to be this high. We're not suffering a shortage like people are saying. Not nearly. Not nearly. Here is Hakeem Jeffries. I believe he says in here that anything that they do that doesn't include DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, would be like a crime to not have. Listen, equity is the new code word for communists. Equity. That's the way I've said it before. If you had more potatoes than your neighbor, you were subject to get drug outside. Okay? Equity in their brain means they get the right to take your stuff. Okay? And so here he is.
When people say the Pledge of Allegiance, they pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's inclusion. So diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're teaching the extremists something. These aren't foreign values, these are American values. And when you attack diversity, equity, and inclusion, you attack the United States of America. We have the high ground on this issue, which is why I'm so thankful that Reverend Sharpton and the National Action Network continues to lean in. And here's the other thing that we know, that this effort attacking DEI. It's not a serious effort.
DEI is just collectivism and socialism and communism, okay? The smooth brains think, oh, yeah, everybody should get everything equal. We're smarter than that. I know everybody in my chats is smarter than that, but I'm just, especially since I'm on a kick, I might have a younger person tune in. What you're listening to is communist propaganda that everybody's supposed to get everything equal, and there's no consideration for individual effort. It's just a bunch of thieves trying to justify their thievery.
It's not about celebrating merit. That's what they tell you. They're not trying to celebrate merit. They're trying to elevate mediocrity. Not trying to celebrate merit, they're trying to elevate mediocrity. Here's how we know that's the case. Just look at who they put in charge of the attack on DEI. Pete Hegseth, the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in American history. You don't have the standing to lecture anyone. This guy can't organize a 2-car funeral. He was a Fox News host, and now he's the Secretary of Defense. No wonder things are turning out so horrifically over in the Middle East. Pete Hegseth leading the attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those are American values.
No, they're not. Anybody promoting, I said it before, anybody promoting communism and socialism is my enemy. They are thieves banging on my door. That's all they are. Speaking of a thief, commie, Bernie Sanders, healthcare is a human right. Kurt says, so is gun ownership. Somebody responds, no one's trying to take your guns. So Kurt says, I'm not worried about people taking my guns. I want the government to pay for my guns. So if healthcare is a human right and gun ownership is a human right, shouldn't the government buy our guns? Give us all guns? And somebody said, it's the right to be able to own a gun if you want it, not the right to be given a gun. So Kurt finishes up by saying, oh, is that how rights work? So, yeah, that little thread there is kind of telling. They don't know how to act when somebody catches them like that. These Bernie bros, if you want to get a screenshot of that and put it on your meta. Just looking at the chats. Yeah, I see if I got anybody new in here. I think the way it works on Kick, they have at least one person watching your video to see how you're doing, make sure you're not getting out of line, I guess. And whoever's watching, appreciate you watching me. And everybody on Rumble, I got to say hi to my Rumble gang. I don't know how long to keep going on Rumble, but I appreciate the ones who follow and watch the videos. The English tabloid, The Telegraph, reports that the Russian frigate Admiral Grigorievich escorted 2 sanctioned tankers along the southern coast of England, ignoring the British Prime Minister's threats to seize the vessels. On top of them, spotting a couple of Russian submarines off their coast. They just had a warship escort 2 tankers right out under their nose and dared Keir Starmer to do something about it. And guess what? They didn't do anything. Here you go, Rubio with Root. The administration is considering the possibility of withdrawing U.S. troops from European countries that did not support the United States in the war against Iran. According to sources from the Wall Street Journal, the option of actually punishing allies who did not support the military campaign is being discussed. Well, Keir Starmer doesn't have to call Trump about that tanker, because Trump will tell him, well, when you win the argument, we'll come help you, just like you waited with Iran. The talk is about the possible withdrawal of American troops from countries deemed insufficiently loyal, with their subsequent deployment to states that have taken a more active stance in support of the United States and Israel. Yeah. Why would we want to help people that don't want to help us? And then here, the Americans are not leaving the Middle East, but will stay there, as Trump said, until the agreement is implemented by the parties. Moreover, there are additional movements of aviation. At night, Israel continued to attack Lebanon, and the American side again repeated that Beirut was not part of the deal. Iran, however, remembers that Hezbollah came to the aid of Iran by entering this war. Therefore, it has no moral right to abandon Lebanon, leaving it to the mercy of Israel. Well, nobody's reporting the fact that the Lebanese government ordered the Iranian Revolutionary Guard to leave the country. Hezbollah is not Lebanon. They are a terrorist group supported by Iran, and this is conclusive proof. Here, let me see it. Here we go. This is a big one Trump put out. An illegal alien criminal. Now, I had this video in my studio, and I said the other night, I went, you might have heard me say, oh, I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to show that. And I'll tell you why. This is what Trump is referring to it today. I had it in my studio, actually, yesterday or day before. An illegal alien criminal from Haiti who was released into our country by the worst president in history, crooked Joe Biden, and the radical Democrats in Congress, just beat an innocent woman where she lost her life with a hammer at a gas station in Florida. I had the video. It's awful. Even though they blurred it out, it's too hard to watch. The video of brutal slaying is one of the most vicious things you will ever see. This animal was allowed to stay here because the Biden administration granted him and all Haitians temporary protective status, a massively abused and fraudulent program, which my administration is working to terminate. But deranged liberal district court judges are standing in our way. That's got to stop. This one killing should be enough for these radical judges to stop impeding my administration, immigration policies, and allow us to end this scam once and for all. To my fellow Republicans and, frankly, all common sense Americans, never forget that Joe Biden and the Democrat Party turned the United States of America into a dumping ground, allowing tens of millions of criminals, lunatics, and the mentally insane from all over the world to pour into our country. Totally unvetted and unchecked through our wide open borders. As I've said all along, you import the third world, you become the third world, and that's what happened over 4 years of Democrat control. We are rapidly trying to reverse this decline through deportations. But if the Democrats are ever given another chance at power, they will immediately reopen the border and allow America once again to be a safe haven for criminals. Please say a prayer for this innocent woman's family. We will ensure quick and severe justice is served in this case. I don't recommend you watch this tape because it's so terrible, but I felt I had an obligation to put it up so that people can see what Democrats are protecting and wanting to come to our country, even now, after all we've been through. Again, viewer discretion advised, not for children, President Donald J. Trump. And I have it in my studio, but I'm not gonna play it. It's out on the sidewalk. And even though they blurred out what happened, it's too much for me anyway. I don't want to see it. It's out there if anybody wants to see it. Oh, I'm going to get to Canada in a little bit. What is going on? Is Roland in there? We got to ask him what's going on in Canada. Up north. Hi, Felix. How you doing? Yeah, Felix. Bukele overrode those judges. This is something that the timing has to be right. The majority of Americans, the vast majority of Americans have to see what's going on. You can't tell people, you have to show them. You have to show them. And when he drops the hammer on these judges, it's going to be an 80-20 issue. 20% PO'd and 80% saying you're out of your mind. Trump's doing exactly what he needs to do. And I believe we're getting to that point very quickly. It's going to snowball. Here's something to put on your meta. And Wokeness put it up. What the left plans to do once they're in power. Crack down on social media speech. Mass amnesty equals 30 million new voters. And the filibuster and pack the SCOTUS full of Ketanji Brown Jacksons. Nationwide mail-in and no voter ID. Nullify your vote. 52 states, D.C. and Puerto Rico. Welfare bureaucrat states. Abolish the Electoral College, which means mob rule. Mob rule, direct democracy. The mob rules. MAGA arrests and debanking. Remember this. I believe every word. And that's why I am confident, hell or high water, Trump is not going to let them succeed. So here, let me see what this. Here's a. I think this is something. Whoa! Wait a minute. We got Trump here. Let me see what this one is about. This might be about NATO. I'm not sure. Let me see what this clip's about.
As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Yeah, Dan Scavino put that clip up. I remember now. Everybody's talking about it. How we wiped the floor with them with such little losses. Let's see here. What is this one? This, I believe, don't forget, we're going to have big things happening with this fraud, this massive, undeniable fraud. We've got a criminal machine going in multiple states. And just about everybody's turned their back on it. Not for long. It's going to change. But anyway, let's see what this is. I'm not sure which reporter this is.
This is the story of a government that has allowed compassion to become a mask for fraud, creating a self-reinforcing system that keeps the Democratic establishment in power. Chris joins me now. Chris, okay, wait, so how did you initially find out about this, and what was the scam?
So the scam is California's in-home supported services or in-home care program. It spends about $30 billion a year. It's one of the state's largest programs. And it pays 800,000 Californians to stay home, mostly with relatives, to take care of them, to cook, clean, watch television. On the surface, it's compassionate. You're taking care of your grandfather or a child with disabilities. But experts say, and this is dating back to the Schwarzenegger administration, and getting worse and worse and worse, that between 20 and 40% of this program is just pure fraud. Fraudulent timesheets, fraudulent billing. It operates on the honor system, and experts say it's losing between $6 and $12 billion a year to people who are taking this compassionate program and ripping it off.
All right, we're going to put that up on the board for everyone to see. The number is because it's between 6 and 12 billion with a B dollars a year. So he was asked about this back in January 29th, and this is what he said.
2021, we did a moratorium on new hospice program. 280 we shuttered. We've been after this for years and years and years. We want an open hand, not a closed fist. We absolutely are here to be a partner to go after waste, fraud, and abuse. No one's denying these issues. But let's also not deny this is purely political.
How would you respond to that?
Well, of course, that's not true. Gavin Newsom, despite all of these concerns from Democrats and Republicans, actually has expanded the program at every turn and dismantled enforcement mechanisms. And the question is, why is he doing so? One reason is because this is now California's largest single occupation. This in-home care program, subsidized by taxpayers, represents about half of all new jobs created under Newsom. He wants to keep that number up, but also because these in-home care providers give about $150 million a year to the labor unions, which are, of course, Gavin Newsom's #1 kind of political power base. And so it is a cycle of corruption. Newsom gives $30 billion in taxpayer money to these in-home caregivers, including huge numbers of fraud. These caregivers give money to the unions give the money back to Gavin Newsom. This is the dirty business of California, and we've blown it wide open.
Chris, do you think that this type of scam or fraud is being replicated in other states besides California?
Yeah, we know that it is. In fact, in New York State, Kathy Hochul, by no means a conservative or a right-winger, she's the Democratic governor, said that this was the most fraud-ridden, scandalous program in the state. There are similar programs in all 50 states. And here's the thing for viewers to keep in mind. this isn't just California taxpayers. This is subsidized almost entirely by federal taxpayers. And so whatever state you live in, if you pay federal taxes, you are giving Gavin Newsom your cash. You are giving New York and Illinois and all the other most fraud-prone states your cash for these scams.
It's called the Big Club, and we ain't in it. The Big Club. So I don't know, where is the hammer going to drop? Is it going to drop multiple places at a time? Lizard person, huh? Yeah. Anywhere they can claim compassion, safety for the children, whatever, it's a hog trough where they steal money. And I don't want to pick on Canada, especially since Roland's not here to defend. But what in the world is going on with this stuff? What in the world is going on with this stuff? This isn't government. Anyway, this is somebody talking about programs in Canada. The Canadian government needs to pay more attention to these poor people she's going to describe.
When the budget was released, I was shocked to find out that Prime Minister Carney is cutting $7 billion between Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous. This is callous because the very Liberal government that has stripped organizations of life-sustaining funding has now committed $13 billion. $13 billion on military spending. Who is paying for it? Indigenous women across this country, Indigenous women, girls to us, LGBTQIA+, are not safe. In fact, rates of violence are increasing. And what is the Prime Minister doing? He is turning a blind eye on this violence. You know, the Prime Minister talks a lot about projects of national interest. What is in the national interest are the lives, safety, security, and dignity, not in the national interest of Indigenous women and girls to us LGBTQIA+. Is the Prime Minister okay having Indigenous women to us LGBTQIA+ family members and organization coming to Parliament begging time and time again to see our humanity? Is he okay with that? Well, clearly, with his behavior the other day, laughing at a woman from Grassy Narrows who is suffering from mercury poisoning, having to beg for an apology, is an example of how this Prime Minister has turned his back on Indigenous peoples, particularly Indigenous women and girls to us LGBTQIA+. And what does that look like? It looks like rates of violence increasing.
So now they're adding letters and also adding Indigenous people. So something that is primarily bedroom preferences is what I call it. They link that to Indigenous people. What in the world does any of that have to do with that? So right away, people are coming together with with memes. Hold on a second.
With the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Well, they don't know what they're saying. But here, Matt Walsh put this out. I think this one's Matt Walsh's. A couple of people commented on it. Let's see. Is this Matt Walsh? Yeah. For those who don't speak woke retard, I looked it up, and apparently MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA, that's real. He's not making this up. Means missing and murdered indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual. So apparently they added murdered people into the LGBTQ community. Murdered is now a queer identity. This is the kind of innovation we get from Canada. Hi, Roland. I wasn't picking on you. I was just wondering where you were. I wanted to see what you thought of all this. Fallibility, I said, Canada has changed its pride acronym. See, this is real. MMIWG2. Who can remember this crap? That's not a civil rights movement. That's a strong email password. Well, this is the first I heard of this stuff. That's that's why Alberta's getting out. Yeah, I bet. Man, it's wild. I want to put I got another video to play about that. I put a link in the description a link. I keep saying description. It's in the chats for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants something, channel out. I appreciate it. And I want to thank the Younger Gang. And I want to thank Mike and Bev. Boom. Kapow. Kapow for stopping by this week with Buy Me a Coffee. I really appreciate it. This is a totally viewer-supported channel. I know you don't condone that stuff, Roland. But some people are getting money from somewhere. They're getting money from somewhere. But anyway, folks, I got this video here that I think you'll enjoy. Who is that? Who is that? But anyway, have y'all seen this video yet? There's Miss Bender Sue put some booms in. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. What do I always say? I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Because if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. I should be going live tomorrow. We shall see. Maybe I will and maybe I won't. But anyway, folks, I'm going to play this video for you. A new phenomenon coming from up north. Anyway, folks, enjoy this video. I hope you all have a great night. And I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
JD, if you spell this word correctly, you will be crowned this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee Champion. The word is Meathwig2SlugBuckQE+.
Can you give me the country of origin, please?
Yes, of course. The country of origin is none other than Canada.
Can you give me the definition, please?
A single word used to describe every minority group ever conceived, including several that are still pending approval.
Mish Wig2SlugBuckQE+. Can you use it in a sentence?
You are not a member of the Wig2SlugBuckQE+ community, therefore we will not be hiring you for this position.
Me Wig2SlugBuckQE+. MMIWGTWSLGBTQIA+.
That is correct. You are this year's National Spelling Bee Champion. Congratulations.